Welcome to the 100 kilometers of Italy by Gen X. Here we have 10 challengers coming in to hopefully take the win. From top to bottom, it was a spread of 2.1 seconds. And starting the lineup on row 5, we have Leon in the yellow McLaren, the only German on the grid, surprisingly. Thought we'd have more here tonight. And right next to him in the same row, we have TNT in the Ford Mustang. Can American muscle take over Italy like it did 60 years ago? Coming into row 4 in the Ferrari, we have King. Can he stand up to his name? And next to him in another Ford, but this time the GT, we have KO. Very beautifully chromed. Next to him is Wrench and the red Hyundai. The only red that is not a Ferrari on the grid. And next to him in the second McLaren, we have Wrench. And next to him into row 2, we have Wixie and his Canada battler CJ in the Renault. And taking our top row in the Porsche, we have Jeff, and gapping him by 0.6 of a second, taking pole, we have Nana in P1. Granted, again, it is only separated by 2 seconds, but anyone can take the win coming into turn 1, the first chicane, as chaos can ensue. Let's see how we go. Let's go into the lights. 28 laps, 100 kilometers, 5 red lights. It is out. Oh, this is a jump start by CJ. No, it is clean, and he's already taking the lead coming into turn 1, following him by Silva, Wixie, Jeff, and Dan in the top 5. Let's see how this goes into turn 1. Can we keep it clean, everyone? Can we keep it clean? Double wide. No, I don't see any contact yet. Oh, squeezing Jeff in there, but he gets by. Looks like we are clean all the way down the line. Worst of it to last, losing 1 position. All right, we are clean. Let's get up back into the pole position with CJ taking the lead coming into the second chicane. And Sienna falling in behind. No contact yet from anyone down the line. We are clean, single file. Whoa, little wide fire there by the GT. KO into the gravel trap. Don't scratch the chrome, buddy. Don't scratch the chrome. All right, back into the lead. Going through the second let's mo. All right, we are clean throughout. And following and coming into Sector 3, we have CJ in the lead, followed by Ciano, Wixie, Jeff, Dan, King, Leon, Wrench, TNT, and KO. Down by 5 seconds to the next person. Going through a scar, we are still clean. Single file. It was pretty clean, but sadly KO did take the worst of it at the second chicane. Hopefully there was no contact back there. We do have a 3-way battle coming here for T3. Wow, listen to me do some Murrayisms. All right, Dan going a little wide back there. 4-way battle. All right, let's get back up to the lead real quick. See how they are doing up here. Sienna following behind. Is he gonna make a move? He's just tucked in there. CJ not taking the defensive line, surprisingly. Oh, he's making his move. And he goes way too deep and gets reset behind the stewards. Ouch. That gives CJ a clean lead. More than 3 seconds, apparently. And down in P2, it is now Jeff, Wixie, and Dan. And look at that. Leon already up into P5 after 1 lap. What a start for him. All right. King making a move on him? No, he just took right back behind. All right, we got some clean racing going on tonight. I like it. And so far, our biggest losers right now is KO and Sienna. It looks like KO is making his comeback right behind Wrench and the Hyundai. Can Silva make an aggressive strategy change and come back up to the lead? That could be an interesting move for him. CJ in the Renault. Coming in Sector 3, falling into Benascari. Now the question is for the leaders, coming into the top 4, maybe the top 5. Do they play it safe and go for a 2-strap strategy? Going soft, medium, soft, or medium, soft, soft? That could run out. Or could they push their limits with the fuel and make it a 1-stop strategy? But they will be 3 seconds slower, as has been shown in practice, if they do a 1-stop strategy when it comes to the later stint. Alright, falling to P2, we have Jeff, Wixie, and Dan fighting for P3. Leon falling in P5, King, TNT, Wrench, KO, and Sienna. Let's stay with P2. And it looks like there was a battle with P. Oh, yes, there is. They are side by side. Let's go. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Last of the late breakers. Let's look into it. On board. Dan is the latest one and will take P3 with no doubt in the mind. All right. Dan did start 5 and now 3 after 2 laps. And again, Leon sticking with P5. All right, let's get back into our TV cameras. And looking at our mini map at the top right. We do have our biggest losers at the bottom, but I still think they may go for an aggressive strategy and may come back into the back of here. Oh, Wixie has gone deep, losing P5, and Leon now into P4. Let's go. King looks like he's taken advantage of his mistake and is now into P5 himself, going from P7 to P5. All right, TNT is now in P7 after starting in P9. Man, a lot of losers, a lot of winners, just in a small amount of laps. Let's go up to Jeff at P2 real quick. Is he any closer? He looks like he is now 1.7 seconds up into the leader. Is the leader playing it too safe, or is he doing this purposely? All right. I mean, he is in control of the race. All right, let's go back to Leon. Anyone fighting for him in P4? Looks like he's a little slow out of the Ascari chicane. I wonder if something happened. King and Wixie are now fighting for P5. They're only separated by 4/10. Leon making a clean sweep around. All right. Let's check our behinds in P8 through 10. Let's see how close they are. They are separated by 1 second. All right. Oh, KO goes wide. Which was the Parabolica, which now the new name has slipped me. I know they changed the name just recently here at Monza. All right. They are only separated by 1 second. All right. Let's hope they have a good battle with one another. Hopefully not until they're slowing down, though. All right. KO making a move. Thinks twice about it. And tucks right behind Wrench. Oh, gets a penalty for his troubles. Ouch. Stewards were not kind to him, were they? Not kind at all. Oh, and Sienna goes around the outside. Is he making a move? No, thinks twice about it like KO did with Wrench. Now, is the Steward's going to be kind with him? Flashes his lights at him. Says he's going to make a move, and he does. Going side by side. And Sienna will take that spot. He says, thank you very much. Taking in the V12 Aston. All right, let's get back into the leaders real quick. Looks like Jeff is closing that gap. It is now within 1 second. And if this was Formula 1 a year ago, he would have DRS right now. Whoa, what happened to Leon? He is now in P6. He was just P4. Man, I am missing a lot of action, but getting a lot too. Shite. Okay, TNT falling behind. Is he going to make a move? Gets onto his side. Thinks twice about it. Everyone's thinking twice about their moves. And look at me, stopping the race. Alright. Let's take our half a lap break of me talking. And let's get into Jeff's point of view as he follows CJ on board. Alright, back into our TV cameras. Battle on Board was brought to you by Gen X. Eagles need not apply. And in the meantime, Leon has dropped down to 7th. TNT taking the best of it. Wixie dropping down to 5th as King goes back up to 4th. Man, a lot of ups and downs for everyone tonight. Starting 7th up to 4th is King, followed by Wixie. King going defensive. I don't think he should be. He had a 4/10 gap between them. I don't know why he didn't. Okay, but hey, because now it's going to give Wixie a lead. Let's get onto Wixie's chase cam real quick. Is he going to make a move? Goes in the inside. He does. And look at that V8 power taking over the Ferrari. Already clean, taking his line. Whoa, King comes right back. They go side by side. Oh, he squeezes him, takes it. He says, you will not take it back. Look at Wixie, just using that wide Mercedes. Just those big curvy hips. And I'm not even calling that a woman, like, damn. All right, let's get followed back to the leaders. They were close here. Separated by 4/10, maybe 3/10 at this moment. And I can see that as he gets to the grass. Look at that, commentator's curse, ain't it? All right, let's get back into our pack right here, 4th through 7th. Let's see how they're doing. Let's get behind TNT real quick. The Valvoline Mustang. Looks like everyone's just following suit right now. No one's getting adventurous at the moment. They're just taking their spots as it comes. Everyone's just settling into the positions. Alright. Looks like Wrench has came back into the pack. Holy cow. Same with Sienna. They have clawed their way back into the pack. They're being aggressive. Also, it looks like there's a nice little dent on the bottom right there next to his sponsor. Ouch. And KO Dude's still not having the best of luck in P10. Don't worry, KO Dude, don't worry. You'll come right back to you. You still have a lot of laps. You still have 22 laps coming around yourself. Alright, let's get back into the leaders real quick. Following the Renault. Coming to the Curva Grande, Jeff is still following behind him at 3/10. Is Jeff just saving fuel behind him? Letting CJ do all the work behind the Renault? Mid-engine versus rear-engine cars right now. Jeff just pulls in closer. Gets a little gravel on his tires for his trouble. Let's just follow the leaders for a bit. This may get interesting. Because we should be coming to the end of their tire life. Because if they start on softs, they should be coming in within the next 1 to 2 laps of their pit window. And if they're on the mediums, they get extended to 10 laps. At least that's what it has shown in practice for the teams. And as we watch them, I will say, coming into next week, here on Thursday, we are going to Red Bull Ring. And weather has shown rain is imminent. May not be heavy, but rain does come at Red Bull quite often. Again, Gen X, Eagles not need to apply. Alright. Looks like CJ's taking his lead comfortably back. Looks like he is gaining second over him at the moment. Does not pit. Alright, they are going another lap. Let's get into our Wixie to TNT lineup right quick. Ooh, Wixie has pulled away from the two. Alright. But TNT and King are facing one another. With Leon, Wrench, and Sienna not too far behind. Alright, everyone's just getting their laps carefully. Leaders go around Curva Grande as 4 through 8 right now. Go through the first chicane. Ooh, I wonder if Sienna fancied a move right there against the Renault. Wow, look at me. Against the Hyundai. Whoa, what happened to Yumi? Yumi, listen to me. Leon. Just reading his name above. It's not got the best of exits. He must be on the sauce. He must be fading away from him. And oh, is he fancying a move against Wrench? Yes, he is. Stupid TV camera's not showing us the move. Oh, I think Stewards will be getting Leon on that one. Did they say it was clean? They said it was a clean move. Okay, fair enough. Hard racing, I like it. Hard racing, I like it. If they're allowing it, let it stick. As long as everyone's playing fair. All right, let's get back into the leaders real quick. And again, following from P1 to P8, we do have CJ, Jeff, Dan, Wixie, King, TNT, Leon, and Sienna rounding the top 8. With KO and Ridge behind. So that there be more battles in the front right now. Like, yeesh. Let's stay with our leaders at the moment. I mean... Oh, Wixie pulls in the pits. With only 7 liters of fuel, I'd say, yeah. He must be going... He must be doing a 2-stopper. Starting the mediums, 2 softs. I like it. Alright, we got our first of the pit stoppers with Wixie coming in. And remember, Wixie was driving the Merc, so yeah, must be a nice gas guzzler he's got right now. As CJ sets a new best time for his Sector 1. Let's get on with Jeff. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's get into the King TNT battle. Like a Sienna in the background. I'm waiting. And Sienna being our only Brazilian on the track as well. All right. Looks like all of our troubles have happened in the first 4 laps as everyone seems to be settling in where they're at. As we are, again, coming into the pit window, no one pits in lap 9, going into lap 10. Sienna, is he pulling in? No. Leon, are you pulling in? He is not. KO. He does pull in. Ford decides to pull him in. Wixie, we know you pitted. Wrench, I believe you have pitted. I don't remember seeing you on the ticker up there. And being how fast you took the Parabolica, I would say you have. Alright, CJ coming around. Lesmo number 2. Goes a little wide there. Oh no! He has spun! Jeff will take the lead! Oh no, this is a disaster! Dan is coming in. Is he going to be able to make the pass? I believe he will before we come to the next corner. Oh no! What a disaster for Renault! This may have sealed the fate for Jeff. Jesus! Ouch! CJ loses the lead thanks to a mistake. Gone way too wide. And with that, the board now reads Jeff, Dan, CJ, King, TNT, Sienna, Leon, Wixie, Wrench, and KO now. And looks like the leaders are pulling into pits. What a costly mistake. Oh no. If he was listening to music, I hope he wasn't listening to the Dead Inside. Whew. Krispy Kreme. That sounds good right now, actually. Dang it, Jeff, you made me hungry. Ooh, Sienna going long. He must be taking a semi-aggressive strategy, going longer, hopefully to make up time on track. All right, pulling in the pit. Whoa, wait, what? How did CJ pull ahead Jeff? Did he not fuel all the way? CJ's in front of Jeff, what in the world? Okay, with that, that's just weird. Okay, my guess is CJ must be going a short stint, must be the 5 laps minimum and pulling in. He must be wanting to stay in front of Jeff on track, but Jeff does have the advantage with having a full fuel tank. He doesn't have to pit as long. Jeez, okay. We may have an interesting battle on our hands with this. Okay. Let's check our down the list with Dan in the Ferrari. Wow. Man, I am really going to be sued by these companies. And the McLaren. Look, seeing the orange McLaren back there. King in the Ferrari. Let's get a King on board right now, real quick. Ooh, I love this on board. Okay. We're watching you, King. Better make your moves right. Commentator's curse right now. I'm calling it. Ooh, I love the moving camera. Okay, we're following him around the corners. And Sienna does speak into the pits. Listen to that Ferrari scream in the cockpit. Okay. Nice move around the parabolic, I like it. What do we think? We like the onboards, guys? I'm definitely enjoying this. Ooh, Sienna does now come out the pits. He is going to pull behind TNT in P7. He is making his moves after that costly mistake on lap 2, going deep into the first chicane. Okay. King making that gold helmet shine. Alright, let's get back to our TV cameras. Around the Curva Grande. Alright, how's our mini-map looking? Any battles? Seems to be Sienna and Wrench. Seems to be our closest ones on track. Sienna did now just come out of the pits. We does have fresher tires compared to Wrench 2 laps ago. But Wrench does have his tires warm, so he may have an advantage there. V12 versus, I think the Hyundai has a V6 in the front. What wins? Half or twice the amount of cylinders. Okay. Let's stick with these two as, again, this is our closest battle between any of them. And I want to say Leon, looking at P9, if I want to talk about it, he did have an amazing start. Commentator's curse. He now has a penalty. Look at me. But he did make an amazing start. Starting P10, he was up at the P4 at one moment at lap 3. But I wonder if just a mix of mistakes or just tire wear, just not keeping his tires clean, or just not keeping his tires well managed, that he did now drop to P9. I believe he is a controller player, so yes, he may not have the advantage of some of these wheel users being able to fine-tune their steering. But I want to say Leon, I'd say if he does get a lead, he may be a defensive driver coming into later in the season. But again, an amazing start by him. He could be a threat to beat with coming into next season, if not later this season, as we are going into Red Bull. Remember, it is a rain race. Ooh, looks like we do have a challenger for P4 and P5. Or sorry, P4 and P3. It looks like I was in the wrong numbers. Wixie is facing Dan. McLaren versus Merc. V8 versus V... Is it a V8 in the McLaren? I don't have a second commentator, so I don't have a clue, member. All right. But I do know it's mid-engine versus front engine. Boat versus Nimble. George versus Lando. Let's see who takes this. Is he going to fancy a move into Ascari? He is way too far back for a move. Let's get into a chase cam. On the brakes earlier, Wixie is, but he does give him a nicer line. And a better exit. Look at that. Using all the talent he has. Ooh, making a move. Okay, all right. Let's see. King of the late breakers again. Wixie versus Dan. McLaren versus Mercedes. Mercedes does have the better line. Dan breaks later, but is not ahead of Wixie. Wixie will take P3 in the Lucasade Mercedes. All right. How's our challengers up front? They are gapped by 1 second at the moment, it appears. So no battle there. And our lonely guy, KO dude in the back. A couple costly mistakes. Don't worry, KO dude, there's still a lot of time left in the season. You can make up a lot of ground, because again, this is Monza. People can be too adventurous here. And to me, I think you have the most beautiful livery. Chromed, all around. I mean, look at that thing shine. And we're in a proud Dale number 3. Race Hale, right Dale. Alright, how's our battles on track? Alright, leading out in the top 10, or only top 10, is CJ in the Renault, Jeff in the Porsche, Wixie in the Mercedes, Dan in the McLaren, King in the Ferrari, TNT in the Mustang, Sienna in the Aston, Rich in the Hyundai, Leon in the McLaren, and KO in the GT. Alright, as we are now in the halfway point, I will go on to an onboard. Let's go on to Dan's POV for an entire lap. I'll stay quiet. Alright, I am back on the mic. And again, Dan, I apologize. That was a commentator's curse on me. The leaders did pull in the pits. CJ is in the pits, but I'm going to stay with this battle right here between Dan and King. McLaren versus Ferrari. Alright. Who's the late breaker here? Oh, he's... Okay. Okay, fair play on Dan. He knew he was a swing king out. He stayed on the brakes, paused, let him have the position. Fair driver to Dan. Give him the fair driver award right there for that one. All right, let's see our leaders. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Sienna is in the mix of this leader battle between Jeff and CJ. Oh no, he is squeezed. Let's stay with this battle right here. Jeff beat out CJ in the pits. Sienna says, I don't care. I am racing for positions. He does not want to move. And CJ looks like he's going to be making a move on Jeff in the first Lesmo. And thinks twice about it, damn. So we're going to have a good battle right there. All right. Tuck's right behind him going into the second Lesmo. But he will have a great run coming up to Ascari. All right. Let's see it. Whoa, CJ made a move on the inside. He is going to box Jeff in. So Jeff can't make a move on him. What a play. Boxes Jeff in so he can't make a move, and now is tucked right behind Sienna for the draft. Is he going to make a move Sienna and then keep him in? Yes, he is, but he's going on the outside. On the brakes. He will take provisional lead, boxing Jeff in before Ascari as Dan pulls into the pits. Now Jeff's got to make the hard move around Sienna, who is, in fact, racing for position. It does not matter if you're running the strategy or not. You are fighting for positions. Jeff will make a move on the inside. Will it stick? Takes the inside. Sienna stays on the outside. Sienna does not care. He says, this position is mine. Wow. And Wrench is right behind him. This could be horrible for Jeff. Making the right strategy call in the pits, getting referring to CJ. And in turn makes us his worst enemy behind Sienna in between Wrench. Oh my god. Let's get on a chase cam with Wrench. This could make an interesting move. Because again, I want to remind the watchers, CJ is in a provisional lead with Jeff in provisional second. But we still have Sienna and Wrench fighting positions among themselves. Jeff is just in the worst position ever for him. Let's get behind Jeff. He is making a move, but Sienna goes defensive into Ascari. Who's going to be... Sienna tucks right behind Jeff, letting him by. Probably a smart move in the long run, but damn. That does open the floodgates. Sorry for the nose, everyone. Low stuffy here in Indiana. Okay. Alright, I just got word that CJ only pitted for fuel. He did not change his tires. But that's why he was still able to stick behind Sienna, or not Sienna, sorry, Jeff when it comes to the pits. This is going to be interesting. Is it going to be the long run on mediums for CJ that's going to stick with the win, or is it Jeff going for the traditional two-stop here? Sienna falling behind by 1.5 seconds. Whoa, okay, Wrench is in the pits. Okay, I was like, what happened to him? Kato now tucks into P9, Dan in P8. We have Leon in P7, Sienna, Jeff, CJ, TNT, King, and Wixie now taking right now the lead, but CJ has provisional lead when it comes to the round of pit stops. And as we come to the line, it will be 10 laps to go as we go around the Parabolica here soon. Alright, let's go back into our lead between Jeff and CJ. As TV audio cuts out. Tuck right behind them. CJ making a move here to Parabolica. It's only a 1 second gap between them. He says, I'm here. I am here. Is he making a move? CJ lets him in on the inside. Okay. CJ knew he was on the inside, so he pulled out. But who's going to win the power battle? Goes underneath the line. Jeff tucks beneath CJ. CJ stays on the inside. Jeff now goes outside. Goes back inside. Goes outside. Okay. Jeff gets on the brakes later, but does not make the move stick. CJ will still take provisional lead. Okay, and Cyan is not far behind. Only 1.5 seconds behind Jeff. Maybe shorter than that. I don't know why my number is saying 1.5 for me at the moment. All right. I don't think there's any commentary I can make for this. Like, I mean, this is just speaking for itself, like just what this does for the race. Renault versus Porsche here in Monza at the moment. Looks like we do have a battle for P7 between 7 through 9 at the moment. Okay, I am always using the wrong cars. 6 through 8. I apologize. Sorry, KO dude. But they are only 2 seconds between them. Leon's still making his move back. He's back to the P7. I don't know where he's at with the pit window at the moment. I don't know if he's already pitted or not. Oh, looks like Jeff's taking the spot back. That is my fault for missing that. But CJ's still on the inside. It's going to be the power battle coming again into turn 1. Renault is staying. They are not. No one's got a clear edge on power. It's going to be on the brakes. Brakes about the same time. CJ still squeezes him. Fair play, fair play. Ooh, little tap there. A fair play between the both. They kept each other's space going into that tight chicane. But that does give Jeff a better run, as CJ did have to go wider, as he did have the inside line. Okay, we are having a race for the lead, everyone. Ooh, Jeff goes a little later on the brakes. Tucking it right behind CJ. Okay. CJ got a little grass on there. I am staying with the leaders. This is an interesting battle we got. Okay. I wonder if the sorry. Oh, whoa, okay. Try to get him out of his draft. And again, that is with the Gen X rules. You only have one defensive move per going into one corner or per turn. So you only can make that move once. You cannot be weaving, not even an oval, apparently, but we're not going to be racing ovals here. Or I'm just going to make a move on the inside again into Parabolica. CJ does not make a move. He makes a move on a Ascari, but not at Parabolica. But he will be making the switchback. Look at him tucking right behind back there. CJ is doing this purposely. Whoa, okay. Jeff squeezed him, got the little tap behind. That could have been a lot worse if Jeff Spotter didn't know him there. Steve Dave stays on the inside. Again, squeezing each other, giving each other space. Another switchback. And does not make that stick again. Damn. Oh, and look at that. TT's in the lead. All right. He gets a lead count there. We've had technically 4 different racers per people. Whoa, Jeff makes the move on the inside. That's his one move. CJ will stick on the outside. He stays there. Whoa, they both went deep. Ouch, that could be costly for both of them. And the penalty goes to CJ. Wow, flashes his lights at Jeff. I don't know if that's showing disgust or what the heck happened, but they both went deep, but CJ pays the price as he went deeper. No diddy. All right. CJ does not care about his penalty. He wants his position. Is he going to make the move on Ascari? Little tap there between the both. CJ just tucks right behind there. I think that may do it for CJ. He is on way older tires, and now serving this penalty, that's going to move him down to 1.5 seconds. I know it says half a second penalty, but as everyone says in this game, half a second is literally a second penalty on every track. Ziana not too far behind. He is not making bad grounds. As TNT pulls in the pits. 8 laps to go. And as we round out the top 10, as TNT falls down in order, we have Jeff, CJ, Sienna, TNT, now being passed by Wixie, Dan, King, Wrench, and KO. Okay, let's look at our mini-map. Oop, TNT's coming out. And we'll be pulling in behind Leon. Leon making ground again, back up to P6. He's been on a roller coaster of a race. Starting at last in P10, going up to P4 point on lap 3, and is now P6, coming into 7 laps to go. Okay. Way to go, Leon. Keep this up. Mark my word, he may be a threat here in the future for podium positions for Leon. He may be a controller player, but don't take this wrong way, but those fingers are feisty right now. He is on fresher tires. I think those tires are warm against Leon. Leon is going to be a sitting duck as the AAA gets passed by the 67 Mustang. Ooh, goes defensive. Okay, that was his one move. Late in my opinion, but fair game. He does keep a position against Leon. Leon tucks behind TNT. Leon's pulling in the mids. Shame. Thought we were gonna have a good battle there. Alright, let's get back up to the leaders real quick. Krispy Kreme Donuts looking like a good box. CJ 6/10 away. Sienna 2 seconds away. Wixie 2 seconds away. Dan 2 seconds away. Old Fart. TNT is 6 seconds behind Dan. King, 1.1, Wrench, 12, Yumi now pulling out of the pits with KO in 10. Okay. Whoa! Jeff got a little deep there in the corner on Lesmo 2. That does bring CJ back into the picture with Draft. I may be wrong. I thought this settled the picture with CJ serving his penalty, but he is now back into the picture. We do have Jeffs on the softs and Steve on granted used mediums, but mediums do last longer than the softs. Okay. Jeff does have the better exit, but CJ still will have the slipstream coming into T1 as they both go off the racing surface into that dusty part of the track. And surprisingly, on used mediums, CJ sets his personal best. Only, what, 1.8 We have 0.18 off of Jeff's fastest time on fresher softs. He could be still in a picture for P1. And with Sienna rounding out the rest of the podiums, Sienna had a amazing comeback. I know what I talked about Leon, but after making his huge mistake after lap 2, Sienna's back into the podium. Only 6 seconds behind the leaders. And with the potentially batting here soon, he could be in the picture himself for the win. Okay. And as I'm looking at the mini-map on the top right, looks like everyone's starting to space out. Everyone's kind of settled in the positions, but not the leaders. Leaders still want to play for scraps. They want to play for skins. They want to play for their battle. Jeff makes his one-time move. He does not want to be trapped behind that Renault. Okay. Ooh, look at those. Listen to those downshifts of the Renault. Impressive. Alright, let's get back to TV picture. I think we've did enough chase canning for a while. Alright. Whoa, Jeff a little wide on the... wide. Wow, listen to me, Elmer Bud. A little wider than parabolic. They still both go off the racing surface. Their tires are going to be dusty. And if they want to complain why they're braking so late, I want to hear it. Whoa, CJ brakes later. Whoa, okay. Look at those brakes going. He is tucked right behind Jeff. Okay. Is he potentially going to be making a move here soon? Used mediums, used softs is the battle. Mediums on the Renault, softs on the Porsche. Krispy Kreme versus a horse. Ooh, nice little jump there. Okay. Still staying behind. They're not making moves. It could be a move here at Ascari. Depends on the exit CJ gets here. Okay, he is only separated by less than a tenth right now. Is he making his move? TV cameras, get on them quicker. Come on. Whoa, okay, he thinks twice about it. Just tucks right behind. He is also purple on used softs. Used medium, sorry. He is purple right now. He is battling, wasting those tires. Jeff makes his one-time move, goes on the outside of to the turn into the Parabolica. How's the exit CJ gonna get? Those softs still are lasting, giving Jeff the better exit. Jeff is still under threat. He may be facing a battler with used mediums, but he is still under threat right now. Look at the exit CJ gets out of that corner. Whoa. Okay, my bad on cameras there, guys. This is what I meant to do. CJ says, I'm here, tries to show him on the inside, try to make a mistake. We only have 3 laps to go. CJ's got to make a move now or it's going to be quits. Because those tires are not going to last for him. Whoa, he's tucked right behind him. He may be fancying a move here at Ascari. Oh, CJ gets a little squirrely there. Okay, TV. Jeff remaining on the inside. CJ still stuck on the inside. Is he going for the move? He does not break enough for Jeff to remain P1. And CJ's fading. He is fading fast. He lost a lot of time there on Ascari, taking the inside. As nightfall looms here in the last minute. I don't know why you both would go off the racing surface. You got dusty tires right there. Last 2 laps, CJ still within a second. Let's get back on TV cameras. I think those tires have had enough, or he's having fuel issues. CJ is falling fast. He's now at 2 seconds behind Jeff. His car has had enough. Car is done battling. CJ is going to stick with P2. Jeff is going to take the lead. And it's going to take a massive mistake for CJ to take the win. How are we looking on the mini-map? Looks like we do have a battle between, looks like 6 and 5 right now. 6 and 7. I am always wrong on my numbers again, like usual. Ferrari versus Ford. Sound familiar, doesn't it? But I think at this point everyone's settled in their positions. We're not going to have too many things happen. Whoa! KO dude is in front of Leon. What the heck happened? I just seen that switch. Did Leon have a mistake? Damn! I was going to say real quick before we come to the final lap, as leaders are now crossing the line. Real quick for every driver. Leon, you had an amazing start. I want you to keep this up. I believe if you kept this up and kept your driving consistent, even though you are a controller, you can be a threat. KO, you were unlucky with a couple penalties you had. But again, amazing qualifying performance. You were only 1.5 off the leader. I want you to keep this up yourself. If y'all can maintain you and Leon, you will be great. Wrench, you've been racing long enough like everyone else. Keep doing what you're doing. This race was not for Hyundai. TNT is passed by King as we come into the final lap as I'm making my marks for the drivers. TNT, same thing with you. You've been racing along enough with everyone. You're consistent. You're always there with the battle. And you can make surprise podiums and as well wins as many of the leagues I've been with you. Keep it up. King, amazing performance. Kept it back in P6, P7. As we come into Red Bull Ring, that is going to be one of Ferrari's power tracks. I think you'll do great there. Dan, same with you. Another McLaren power track. Keep it up. Keep it driving. Stay beautiful. Wixie, that Merc is going to be dominant on the power. And you are an amazing driver with, I believe, a couple wins, if I remember correctly. Sienna, I know you've been unlucky these last few laps. Past few races, actually. But again, you are a threat to be handled. CJ, same thing with you. You are a threat. 2 wins. Keep it up. But as we round out, Jeff, coming around the Parabolica, will be taking the win, will be taking the battle around the 100 kilometers of Monza. Crosses the line. It is official. Rounding out, Jeff, CJ, Sienna, Wixie, Dan, coming around the Parabolica himself, taking it nice and beautiful and wide. McLaren soaking it in. Top 5 performance. King and TNT rounding up 6 and 7. Ferrari will beat Ford this time. Hyundai. The red Hyundai. The only car that's allowed to have 2 different colors on the rims, by the way. Now the Chrome GT. Will now be taking P9. And Leon rounding out the 10. What an amazing race, everyone. This Gen X, Eagles need not apply. Keep it up.